Welcome back to Sydney Motorsport Park with the Car Sales TCR Australia Series. Race 2 completed a little while ago. Will Brown the winner in the Hyundai, and under the unique format of TCR Australia, no time to relax. They're getting ready to roll on out for race 3. Greg Rust is in the lane.
Noons, you probably sensed when we did the trophy presentation before for certainly Dylan O'Keefe, I think he felt like it was the one that got away. He was proud of the fact that he certainly got that second place, but he was really wanting that win. Now the team here, Barry Hay and the crew in this outfit, have worked right up to the time limit for this young bloke because they've wanted to make some changes to the Alpha for him to give him a fighting chance. Remember, we've got a progressive grid scenario in this class, and hopefully he might be able to fight for a win in this race. So they're just about to send him. We'll try and grab a word quickly with Barry Hay on some of those changes. What did the young fella want?
Just needed more speed. He said Will was all over him like a bad suit, so he said, find me something. So we just rolled the dice and we'll give me a couple of minutes. I'll see if we went the right way.
Righto, thank you.
Thanks, buddy.
Cam.
They've got to get this car out onto the track, because if they don't make it out before pit exit closes, he will be forced to start from the lane. Dylan O'Keefe finished second in the race earlier on. That's where he starts this afternoon's final race. The field of 17 being able to roll back out onto the circuit. So yesterday we saw a win for Jason Bright in the Volkswagen. Today we've seen a win for Will Brown in the Hyundai, and now the car's leaving to roll around onto the grid for the third and final race of this first weekend. And by virtue of that win in the race that we just had, Will Brown is now the new series leader, 2 points clear from Tony D'Alberto. Jason Bright third, 4 points away from the series lead, and Dylan O'Keefe now sits fourth in the points. So it is nice and tight up at the top as the cars roll on around to the grid. On board with Tony D'Alberto, and the man who will start from position 5 is Andre Heimgartner.
Yeah, I'm a firm believer of being able to drive whenever you can, whether it's a lawnmower, tractor, whatever it is. I've always driven everything I can. So to be able to race in this series is obviously a bit better than a tractor. They're pretty awesome cars, and to have that close racing will be great for me and my racecraft. So really looking forward to it. So the cars are based off your hatchbacks that you're on the road, so the i30s, the Golf GDIs, and they're basically a hatchback 2-litre turbo, all of them. Front-wheel drive, they all have a variation of a paddle shift, which is about 6 gears. And yeah, they're quite unique to anything else here in Australia. The global aspect of TCR is definitely a big attraction for myself and other people. It gives you the opportunity to hone your skills here and then possibly go race Macau and some really cool races like that. So that definitely is a good element to it, and to be able to get some people over here maybe one day to race with us. It was awesome. I reckon the racing is going to be really good. We've got so many amazing drivers, some up and coming guys, and also guys like Bright, myself. So it's a bit of a mix in there, so it's going to create some good racing, I reckon.
Andre Heimgartner has been the really big mover in TCR this weekend. He qualified 9th, finished 10th yesterday, and worked his way through to P5. What a year it's been for him. His first solo supercars podium finish this year down at Phillip Island. Of course, he's with the Kelly Racing team. He replaced Todd Kelly in their lineup. And speaking of Todd Kelly, he's working this weekend with this driver, Chelsea Angelo, in the 37 Dare Astra. He'll start from position 14 for this third and final race, so not much time. It's a unique format in TCR where it's a short, sharp. There's 10 minutes of parc ferme where the cars can't be touched. There's time for them to work on them and then get them back out onto the grid. Greg Rust is right among the action again.
Erin, 50 represents 50 years for the Honda company in this part of the world, in Australia, both in a motorcycle and a car sense. This is the Civic Type R of Tony D'Alberto, who will start on the second row. We were able to squeeze a few changes from this car for the final one, and how you're looking for a shot at a podium at the end of the day.
Oh, look, we really like to finish the weekend off with another podium, but you know, we're finding our way, learning the car a little bit more. We've made another little change. Got a better start that time, so fingers crossed we can finish the weekend off well.
There's been a huge amount of learnings. You said that at the very beginning. I mean, you tested this car at Marulan. You weren't able to run it at Winton with some of your teammates. It's been about soaking up everything you learn on every outing from this Honda, hasn't it?
Yeah, every time we go out, we're learning a lot more. So every race is so crucial to finish. So we're learning tyre pressure setup, how the tyres are wearing. So the racing then was really, really hyped up. So it's good. There's actually a really fun battle at the front.
And these young fellas up front, they don't mind having a crack through turn one, do they?
No, they're having a really good crack, but it was really, really respectful racing too. So, you know, we're running door to door there, and there was no contact, which is fantastic.
Go well this afternoon.
Thank you.
There he is, Tony D'Alberto. Cam?
Taylor as she gets out of the car. Molly Taylor, I know you've got to get your helmet and other bits and pieces. A lot of... Hold on, she's plugged in right now. There we go. A lot of people ask the question, can a rally driver convert to circuit racing? We weren't expecting you to be on the front row, but geez, you've done an excellent job to be in the mix here. You must be proud of yourself.
I still think I need to do a bit more to confirm whether that's possible, but yeah, that one felt heaps better. I felt like I've lost one of my earplugs, but you know. But yeah, I mean, it definitely went a heap better than yesterday, and I feel like I'm finding my feet, so now I just need to, yeah, keep improving from here.
I referenced it yesterday on our coverage that it's a change of sport completely. It's like going from one ball sport to a different code. Are you getting your head around the precision you need and the replication lap after lap that you need in circuit racing?
I think that run I definitely made a step in that direction, but yeah, as you say, it's so different, and the driving style is, I mean, if I tried what we're doing out here in a rally, I would have been off on the first corner. So yeah, trying to get my head around that and then get consistent, and then, yeah, try to keep with the pack and learn from them. So yeah, it's all one step. I felt like I made another step today, and hopefully we'll make another step now.
Well, you had a quicker, faster lap time than the car in front of you, and that's actually who I'm going to walk to at the moment. Oh, we'll grab Alex Rello before we head over to Chelsea. But I'll be right there, Chelsea. Wait 2 seconds. Alex, a little bit further back. Good to have the Holden badge on the car, though, with the Astra. What do you need out of this car to move your way forward on this grid?
Yeah, I think it's probably the best looking car in the field, which is good. But yeah, we're just struggling with straight lines. So obviously with the balance of performance, every car has its strengths and weaknesses, and it's one of our weaknesses. So yeah, maybe that needs a bit of tweaking, but we'll get to that further in the year. Everything else with the car I'm really happy with. So yeah, at least it looks good and looks fast, but yeah, we need a bit more to get up the front.
You were part of Crew Send It just before that last race. They sent it. Are we going to see some fireworks from you?
I'm trying to send it, but with no straight line, I can't pass anyone. So yeah, I'm trying as hard as possible, but yeah, trying to hustle the thing, but not going anywhere. We went backwards actually, so sending it backwards.
We'll send it forwards this time. Good luck. And I'm going to quickly sneak across now. I'm looking at the board. Chelsea, I told you I was coming to you. Very quickly, Chelsea, you've been more known for your open wheel racing. Tin tops in these little cars, front wheel drive, that's a challenge all unto its own, isn't it?
Yeah, totally. I mean, I've never driven a front wheel drive car before, so going from a category like Porsches, where you've got the engine and rear wheel drive, it's just legit like the table's been turned over. So it's really difficult to get your head around, but once you get your head around, it's actually really good fun cars to drive.
Well, good luck. I hope you're going to be part of Team Send It as well.
Yeah, totally, always.
Let's go to Rusty.
I just wanted to quickly highlight the international flavour of this opening round of Car Sales TCR and introduce you to Rick Broikers, and a guy who's got a huge amount of experience in an engineering sense in this country, Eric Pender, who worked with the likes of Greg Murphy at the height of his success at Bathurst in the early 2000s. Rick, it's been a heck of an opening for this championship in Australia, hasn't it?
Yeah, it is. I mean, yesterday's race was pretty good. We went from P8 to P5, which we were pretty happy about, especially since the qualifying was not really what we planned for. Now today, unfortunately, in first race, we got hit 2 times from behind, so we dropped some positions. But yeah, we're quite happy where we are, and I'm really enjoying this weekend. So,
have the boys been able to sort it at least a little better for this final race of the weekend? Can you get the elbows out?
Yeah, the car should be completely fine. It was just the toe which was a bit different, but they fixed it in the working time. So yeah, we should be able to fight our way back to the front.
Time's going to beat us here. Who will be in this Audi at the next round? Can you shed any light on that?
Not sure yet. Not sure yet. Someone may be up to this standard.
Okay, I think the phone's ringing. Cam?
Yeah, thank you very much, mate. Remember, you were supposed to say Herp, Holland, Herp there, Rusty. You've got to get amongst the Dutch for the Oronia. We've got Alex Whitley, though, at the back of the grid at the moment. Unfortunately brought out the safety car. Can you take us through what happened?
Yeah, I'm still sort of just learning all the controls in the car and went with the wrong way. We've got 2 brake biases here, so we've got this one, but then we've got a second lever. Went the wrong way and ended up locking the front when I was trying to get around Molly, but that's all right. We'll learn from that. We'll move forward in this race.
You're an Aussie Kiwi or Kiwi Aussie. We're not quite sure at the moment. Everyone's claiming you. It's a challenge to get your head around these cars for every driver, isn't it? It's quite different to anything you've driven before.
Yeah, definitely. You know, I've come from really big, heavy utes, So it's very, very different, front-wheel drive, new track. So it's lots of learning for me and a really big weekend, but I'm enjoying every moment.
All right, well, good luck for this race.
Thank you very much.
We've been talking about some of the fast youngsters at the front of the field here. Back on the 5th row of the grid is Erin Cameron, probably the last signing for TCR Australia. You've done a superb job this weekend, mate. It's been a real baptism of fire, a kind of a last-minute thing, but you have brought some good experience to the table, haven't you?
Yeah, it's been great. Look, we're learning every race as we go. That last race wasn't as good with the setup and sort of just battled all race long with all the other guys. It was really cool, really great racing all weekend so far.
And the GTR was kind of, it was like a swarm of Hyundais around you there before, wasn't it?
Yeah, I know. It was pretty scary at one stage, and they got back past me, but I'll endeavour to get back past them in this race.
Okay, final one. You think you've got something good underneath you just to really have a good crack in race 3?
Yeah, I think we do. We saved a set of front tyres for this last race from qualifying, so hopefully the rest have all used their tyres up and we'll come flying through the pack.
We'll keep that in the commentator's notebook. Go well. There he is, Erin Cameron. Cam?
Yeah, I'm just trying to jump in with our Renault driver, James Moffat. Am I allowed in? All right, Moff, it's all good. I had a chat earlier with Richard Holloway. He said the incident early on in race 2 set you back. He said you were comfortable with the car pace, but I should ask the driver, are you happy with the car underneath you?
Yeah, definitely. Every time we go out, we're learning, and I'm learning how to drive this car, what it likes and doesn't like. So across the back of the circuit, it's really strong. So I've got to nail the start this time and hopefully get a good couple of first laps under my belt and move up some spots and then chip away at it.
Now, Moff, we've mentioned before Emma Pinwell, Marketing Director of Renault Australia, is here. We've also got the Managing Director of Renault Australia. Amazing to see manufacturers having interest in this category already.
Yeah, absolutely. So, you know, having a couple of the heavy hitters from Renault Australia out watching the inaugural weekend of TCR is fantastic for them to show their support. So nice to be involved, and hopefully we can put on an even better show in race 3 today.
Thanks, Moff. Good luck.
Thank you.
I'm with Michael Armand on the grid. I'm going to have to watch the time here. I think we're nearly out. We're going to have to clear the grid. How are you looking for the third race of the weekend?
Mate, I'm pretty excited. P7, it's a good spot. You never know what could happen from here, so eyes forward.
All right, eyes forward. We'll leave you to it. There he is, Michael Armand. Thank you very much for chatting to us. A guy that was with Stephen Richards in GT3 racing in recent times. Very experienced or behind the wheel of a Porsche, I should say. And he came into the game here in TCR as a bit of a late signing and probably didn't need to overthink it. He's done a terrific job so far this weekend. Let's take you to Aaron in commentary as we get set for a big one, the final race of the weekend.
Rusty, looking forward to it. Great job. Great to chat to many of the drivers before they set off on this final race of the weekend. It's another 16 laps, and it's Will Brown, the winner of race 2, who will start from the front row from pole position. He now leads the championship by 2 points over Tony D'Alberto and the Honda. Jason Bright's third in the points from Dylan O'Keefe, John Martin, Andre Heimgartner, Rick Breukers, who we saw the Dutchman who's driving the Audi there with Greg earlier. He's 7th in points. Nathan Morecambe, Aaron Cameron and Michael Armand. That's the top 10. There's Chris Pither. Electrical problem for the Renault car 33. Means he was the only retirement from the previous race earlier today. He starts at the back in this 17-car field. Gary Rogers Motorsport still learning about these two Renault Megans that they're also running alongside the Alfa Romeo program. Nathan Morecambe, car 11, starts position 8 in the Hyundai for HMO Customer Racing, the 27-year-old. He's an Australian endurance champ from a couple of years ago in GT racing. He's been a World Time Attack winner and spent some time in the Super 2 series, of course. Second-generation racer. His father Barry raced sports sedans and supercars and is heavily involved with this Hyundai outfit. Tony D'Alberto will be on board with the number 50 Civic Type R. This time around, he starts from the second row of the grid. So far, from the 2 races so far, it's been the car on the outside of the front row of the grid that has led the way down to turn 1. So let's hope for Dylan O'Keefe's sake that continues here. He is on the outside of the front row as we get set to let the cars loose on the warm-up lap for this final race. Greg Rust and Aaron Noonan with you for the commentary of this one. Emma Francesco and Cameron Vanderduggen patrolling the pit lane as we get set to get the cars rolling. Great job, Greg. There was plenty to do there. I reckon this format of parc ferme, quick amount of repairs and work, quick setup changes, send the cars back out, big winner.
Gee, I've really enjoyed this, Aaron, and we're coming into the final race with 4 points separating the top 3 drivers. Will Brown with just an advantage of 2 points, but an offering, as you've detailed already, of a little more. Dangle of the carrot for this final one of the weekend.
50 points on the line for the winner. The cars leaving the grid now for race 3 of the car sales TCR Australia Series. 8 brands represented on the grid. Chris Pither here in the Renault. Let's hope the electrical issues in the Megane RS are clear. And car 33, as it takes off now down to turn 1, they're all trying to warm up Michelin tyres. And I reckon yesterday's race had its couple of highlights here and there. Last race was pretty active. There was pretty much a lot going on up and down the field. I think we're in for a really good final race today, right here, right now.
Gee, they've done a great job, haven't they? And this is a global formula. If you're looking at it for the first time, it's in a number of countries worldwide. They take some hot hatches, some fast fours that start out, you know, the beautiful Renault Megane RS you saw there a moment ago, a $50,000 to $60,000 road car, put lots of love into it. They're beautifully built on the inside, all front-wheel drive, balance of performance measures to ensure that it's very equal among the different makes. About 350 horsepower being driven through those front wheels, and it's the youngsters who've been fearless in that regard. Progressive grid. Will Brown, off the back of his win in race 2, will start this one from pole position alongside Dylan O'Keefe, and he looked, I tried to detail it before, he looked a bit gutted. He really wanted that first win.
So it's a 20-year-old on pole, a 21-year-old on the outside of the front row. Tony D'Alberto next from Jason Bright. Andre Heimgartner P5, the Kelly Racing Run Subaru. 5 different cars in the top 5 spots. John Martin, he's been Mr. 6. 6th in qualifying, 6th in race 1, 6th in race 2. Let's hope he can do something different at least in this race. Michael Arman 7th, Nathan Morecambe next, the 2 Hyundais there. The Alfa Romeo, Jimmy Vernon did a nice job, moved his way up the order in that last race. He went all the way through to really work his way into the top 10. Rick Breukers, he had a tough time. The Audi got bounced back in the order, position 11. James Moffat next, the 2 Astras of Alex Rouleau and Chelsea Angelo, Molly Taylor, Alexandra Whiteley and Chris Pither rounding out the 17 cars for this final race. I think you got to just about every driver on the grid there before. That was impressive.
I'm just looking back at the grid there too for a moment. It's a reminder of the calibre of people in the pit lane that are a part of this. Gary Rogers Motorsport, Kelly Racing that you detailed before, Matt Stone. I mean, it's some huge leagues. Melbourne Performance Centre, guys that have done super well in GT racing in this country. So it's a wealth of racing experience, and they've had to use all of it in that very tight window to turn those cars around. So I'm really impressed with the performance of Andre Heimgartner. That Subaru WRX, originally built by Top Run Motorsport. Molly Taylor actually got to drive one in Italy before just to sample the car, if you like. And Top Run have a history in rallying, but they're built for circuit racing by the Top Run team. Hyundai very well represented, very successful in this formula on the international stage, and nice for Will Brown to get the first win here in Australia.
And that team, the HMO Customer Racing team, has been appointed as the factory customer racing operation in this part of the world. So they will be, if you want to go buy one of these TCR Hyundais, they are the people to go through. They'll support you, they'll help you out. I'll tell you what, when it wins a race like it just did earlier today, it's not a bad car to go and get. And that's where Will Brown starts from for this final race of the weekend. Hyundai on pole, Dylan O'Keefe on the outside of the front row in the Alfa Romeo, Honda on the next row of the grid with Tony D'Alberto at the wheel, Jason Bright in the Task Force Volkswagen, and it's this Renault of Chris Pither that rounds out the field. The reigning Super 2 champ, the former Australian and Kiwi V8 Ute champion. This is all a bit different, this TCR stuff, to a V8 Ute, that's for sure. He is a very well-credentialed driver, but they're still learning about that car. We're good to go. Green at the back. Final race of the weekend in the inaugural start of the season of the car sales TCR Australia Series. Who gets the jump to 1? Will Brown gets it rolling from pole position. D'Alberto from the second row is moving. The Honda's down the inside to turn 1. 3 wide to turn 1. Tony D'Alberto's going to squeeze down the inside. O'Keefe will hang tough. Round the outside, the Alfa takes the lead. Boy, oh boy, it's on already.
That Alfa is sensational at the end of the main straight here. Great job on the outside. Brown's got it covered. Oh, there's a little bit of movement in the cars. Heimgartner battling for second position in the Subaru WRX. Brown's got his hands full. Look at the way that the Hyundai's moving around. Dramas for Rick Breukers. What a shame.
Problem for the Audi on the line. He's out of the car. That'll bring out the safety car. And it's a real shame because we had a great start rolling. Tell you what about starts. Heimgartner is P2 under the safety car. The Subaru started from position 5. He was the big mover. O'Keefe's the leader. The field is neutralised. Race is slowed, and Jimmy Vernon's involved too here. The Alfa Romeo, the left rear is hanging off car 7. So he hasn't made it much further by the looks of things than turn 1. So drama here at Sydney Motorsport Park. And we slow down now under the safety car with Dylan O'Keefe in the Alfa Romeo as the leader. Interested to see what happened with that Audi off the line, whether it's had a breakage as it rolled away. He hasn't even made it past the front row of the grid. And remember that he started that black Audi from position 11, so he hasn't gone very far on the road before he's had to abandon ship at his debut weekend in Australia. Sadly, comes to a very premature end.
Great car too, if you get a chance to have a look up close. It's got some very good safety innovations that have filtered down from Audi's DTM and GT program, and the customer racing team there, they'll do some good investigation as to what's gone wrong. I really feel for him. It's been great to have that international flavour, to have a guy of his calibre as a part of the opening round of the championship. Terrific. Shame it's ended this way.
Yeah, you talked about that safety. We had a good look at this car last night before we left the track. It actually has a removable panel in the roof, so as medicos or the like who need to access a driver can help remove a helmet without moving the driver's neck or head. It's what the Audis and like in DTM and all other categories do a really great job of. With GT cars, we've seen that as well. So a great innovation for that Audi. Unfortunately, it is parked up on the front straight on board with Chelsea Angelo in the Astra. Position 11 on the road. James Moffat's just up in front in the Renault. So he picked up a couple of spots in that opening couple of corners. But how about Andre Heimgartner? Tell you what,
mighty.
He had a tough weekend with that car. It's not a fast car compared to some of the others, but he is now P2 as we work our way through lap 2 under the safety car. Good chance for us to head to the lane with Emanuele Francesco.
Checking in with Rick Broiker's team and Lee Bailey. Did you see what happened exactly?
I didn't exactly see it, but I've heard now that I think it was Vernon in the Alpha didn't really get off the line, and Rick got a really good start, and then obviously had a stopped car in front of him. I think he's collected on the way through, and from what I've been told, it was quite dramatic up against the wall, almost rolling, so it'd be good to get a bit of a replay on that.
All in all, it's been a fantastic weekend being here at Sydney Motorsport Park for the very first round, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been great. I love it. Like the crowd, biggest crowd I've seen here for a lot of years at any event, and yeah, social media, everyone's really excited. So it's been a long time coming, but yeah, great to have the weekend started.
Thanks, Lee. Cam?
Great start by Andre Heimgartner. Nick Ryan, General Manager of Cali Racing. Now, the Subaru, probably not the best bit of kit. That is impressive what he is doing.
He did an amazing job off the line. He's certainly got the straight line pace. We had quite a few issues yesterday. The gearbox, he couldn't downshift. We made a few changes overnight. Thankfully, we got on top of it. He's now confident. He's got the pace. It's just a bit of a challenge through the corners. So he's dive bombing, getting in there. He's doing a really good job.
Well, he told me the strength of his Subaru is actually under brakes. Should we expect something? He's told the field he's going to send it. He's told them all he's got something up his sleeve. Do you actually know what it is?
Well, he's just going to go for it. You watch. There is no doubt he's going to have a go. He wants to come home with the trophy, and the way he's going, hopefully he can do it.
And the last one, TK, the big boss at the moment, essentially is on the tools as well this weekend.
He is a happy, look at the smile on him. I think it was something unique for him to get behind and do some engineering, but he's absolutely loving it, getting further involved, helping progress the cars, working with Chelsea. He's in his element, absolutely loving it.
And Car Sales TCR Australia, what a weekend, what a start.
Yeah, amazing. You look where there's 5 different manufacturers in the top 5. The way everybody's racing extremely well, a lot of respect for each other, some great drivers up and down the lane. This is huge. You look at the crowd, you look at the variants in cars that are out in that car park. There's a lot to like about what we're doing.
I'm loving it down here. Let's go back to the boys.
Cam, Emma, well done. Just want to follow up on that story in relation to the Audi. We're hearing the same, that it nearly rolled over. And I think that the other aspect is Jimmy Vernon. Is it Jimmy Vernon perhaps involved here, that he may have stalled or something? It looks like it at the back of the field, so we can see the aftermath there. Clearly an issue for Jimmy Vernon. And maybe in all the craziness off the line, something happened to Rick Broikers, and the team's saying it nearly rolled over. Wow.
That was all going on just out of shot there, because we had such a good fight going for the leaders as they fired through turn 1, and we were on board here with Tony D'Alberto with a little bit of a bump on the back of Will Brown. That gave Heimgartner the chance to get around the outside and snatch that second place, and Dylan O'Keefe to get away out in front. And that was, I mean, you look from that angle, it didn't look too bad with that Audi parked at the side of the road. It does for the Alfa Romeo. So those cars are being cleared away. We're under safety car here at Sydney Motorsport Park. Stay with us. More action from TCR when we come back.
For Jimmy Vernon there, don't you? He's got a good group of people around him with that car. I'm not sure why it stalled off the start line. Real shame.
these cars have a pretty complex little launch control procedure, and when we were up at Winton for the test day the other week, it was just so happened to be the GRM team that had their manual out to read through the setup instructions of how that all worked, and it was a complex little system of tasks that the driver had to do, so maybe that's put them out there. But there was a little rub there, just a little bit on the replay. John Martin and Jason Bright had a little bit of a bump and rub on the run there through turn 1, but great start. We got a really good mix of cars there, ducking and diving at turn 1 and turn 2. It's just a shame we had the safety car because it was really starting to get rolling. But I'm sure if it's anything like we saw in the last race, where after the safety car, the race really came alive again, I think we might get that here.
100%. Couldn't agree with you more. Dylan O'Keefe leads the way in this one. In the Alfa Romeo from Andre Heimgartner. Will Brown, winner of race 2. Then Tony D'Alberto, who was no slouch off the line. The Honda was really good at the start there as well, but O'Keefe was just able to maximise and not afraid on that colder rubber around the outside of turn 1. Alpha really handy in that part of the track.
And that sets up the race. That first lap or so, when you're on those cold tyres, how brave do you get? How hard do you push in those first couple of corners to make some moves? We saw Will Brown yesterday go flying down the outside of the mall at turn 2. Got a funny feeling he knew it wasn't going to come off, but it was worth having a crack at just in case there was a drama for anybody else. Molly Taylor there, the Castrol Subaru, sits position 15 at the moment. Still working her way through. Great to see Castrol involved this weekend on that car, and also the Alex Rouleau Astra that is just in front of Molly on the road at the moment. So Dylan O'Keefe is the leader on board the Alfa Romeo. We are 3 laps down of 16 in this third race for TCR Australia. Chance for us to draw a breath on what's been a great weekend, our first weekend of 7 for this series this year, Greg. We'll be at Phillip Island in June, the Ben Motorsport Park in July, Queensland Raceway at the start of August, Winton at the end of August on Father's Day weekend, Sandown September, and the Bend in November, as Molly Taylor now is bringing the Castrol Subaru into pit lane from the tail of the field. So hopefully there's not too many dramas there.
We'll follow that story up for you. She is now Melbourne-based, I should point out, but originally from Sydney. Her family are here. Her mother, of course, a multi-time champion co-driver or navigator in the Australian Rally Championship, where she's worked very successfully with Neil Bates over the years. And her dad, a very accomplished rally driver as well, and has had some fire-breathing Falcons and all sorts.
That's what I was thinking.
When he's a proper, when you meet her dad, he's a proper car guy, and has everything from old Escorts and Citroens in the shed to that fire-breathing Falcon rally car. Really good fella, Mark Taylor.
This car run by Kelly Racing. Right rear tyre change for the Castrol Subaru. So if they can get her out again, join on to the back of the queue, won't lose too much ground at all. Great to have you with us here on SBS with the third race from the car sales TCR Australia Series, the safety car on the road at the moment by virtue of an accident off the start line. And on the first lap, Jimmy Vernon's Alpha, Rick Breukers in the Audi are both out of the race at the moment. Aaron Noonan and Greg Russ with you in the commentary box. Emma Francesco and Cameron van der Dungen floating down in the pit lane as we get ready to go back to green flag racing with Dylan O'Keefe in the Alpha. He's the leader. He will control the pace. Lights are out on the safety car. It's returning to the lane at the end of this lap. It'll be the end of lap 4 of 16, so quarter race distance. Dylan O'Keefe's been there or thereabouts so far this weekend. Just missed the podium yesterday. Just missed the win in the race earlier today. And he's going to lead us back to the control line with Andre Heimgartner in second. Will Brown, the winner earlier today's third. D'Alberto, Martin, the 2 Hondas next. And Jason Bright, the winner from yesterday. He's next in the queue. Green flags flying. Let's go back to racing at Sydney Motorsport Park. Let's see if they can chase down this Alfa Romeo. Andre Heimgartner's throwing everything this weekend in that Subaru to get it in the game. Can he go and chase the number 9 Alfa down to turn 1? And it's O'Keefe with a nice margin. Look at this move. This is on. Morecambe having a look at the inside of Jason Bright. Way out in the weeds there for Jason Bright. Sideways in the Task Force Volkswagen. Got it going again, got it straight, didn't end up off the road. That was a big moment.
Full rally spec for Jason Bright through turn 1. And remember, they're at about 200 kilometres an hour at the apex going through there on the approach to 1. We've seen speeds in the order of 215, 220 kilometres an hour. We go back to the front. Heimgartner O'Keefe was able to maximise the restart, but Heimgartner in turns 2, 3 and 4 has been superb, has really been able to close that gap back to point 4, now fighting for the lead. Heimgartner has a look, not quite close enough. O'Keefe hangs on to it. Awesome stuff.
Heimgartner's got a clear strategy. Pounce on them early and then block them and then fight them and then hold them off. He's going to have to do a lot of work in this race. On board with Chris Pither, the little Renault, position 12, trying to work his way through. Started at the back of the field. Heimgartner is not taking no for an answer. The Subaru looks the long way around on the Alfa Romeo. Will Brown's right with him. The Hondas are 4th and 5th. Then it's Michael Armand. Jason Bright, that big moment at turn 1, it's dropped him now to position 10.
During the commercial break, Molly Taylor took a tour of the lane in the sister Subaru to that being driven by Andre Heimgartner. We'll clear that story up for you. Meantime, the battle up front's intensifying because it's allowed Will Brown into the game. As Aaron said, the Hondas are there as well. Martin looking more racy perhaps than he has been in the early part of the weekend. The Alpha, terrific on the front straight here at Sydney Motorsport Park, but this is where Heimgartner starts to claw back. This is where the Subaru begins to come into its own. Watch for him to close the gap at turns 2 and maybe pounce around 3 and 4.
Will Brown's right with them as well. The championship points leader after a win in the previous race. Heimgartner wants to get on with the job. The Kangan Institute Subaru from Kelly Racing, looking left, looking right, ready to pounce on the Alfa Romeo of Dylan O'Keefe. Showing the nose again, down the hill, over that entry tunnel here at Sydney Motorsport Park. Watch for the move, turn 5, he's trying to set it up, get down the inside. Can't do it here. He'll be vulnerable on the exit for Will Brown, who's trying to swing the Hyundai to the inside. They're all going to run down the middle of the road here to cover one another off. And you know what this will do? This will bring the Hondas into the game. This will bring Michael Armand into the game. Great fight in the final race of the weekend.
All of them in the top 3 when they return to Park for May after race 2. They look like they had really earned their money. These are hot, physical race cars, and it's a heck of a battle up in front at the moment. Heimgartner is ensuring that O'Keefe has to work for it, and Brown wants in on this party.
Great fight. This is what we came to see. This is what we want. This is what you get with TCR. Worldwide platform. Over 600 of these types of cars have been built in the 5 years that this category's been going. Where's Heimgartner gone? He's gone off the road there in the background. The Subaru disappeared from our shot. He was there fighting with the Alfa Romeo. He's not there. Where's he gone?
There he is, off in the final few corners. You can just see him at the top of your screen there, but what has happened to the Kiwi? Andre Heimgartner's name plummets down the leaderboard. O'Keefe retains the lead. Will Brown now up into 2nd. Tony D'Alberto to 3rd. Look at the Hondas battling Martin. His teammate will go ahead of him. Martin grabs 3rd spot from Tony D'Alberto. Up into the mix comes Michael Armand. It's on.
Contact on the way through. I think he rubbed both the Civics as he got into the Civic sandwich. Armand through to position 5. What a shame for Andre Heimgartner. He has not crossed the start-finish line here. He just disappeared from my view. He wasn't in the shot that I picked up there. So it leaves Dylan O'Keefe leading, Will Brown 2nd, Martin now 3rd in the Honda. Here are our leaders. And Armand's in the game here. Remember that he was delayed yesterday in the first race. He was the fast man in Friday practice sessions, having not driven the car until Friday practice. He stepped right in and has stepped on the money. We jump in with Nathan Morecambe in the number 11 Hyundai, P6, looking at the front of Tony D'Alberto, down the inside. Oh boy, contact, and that in front is Michael Armand, who's using curb and grass. D'Alberto's off to the left. It's on, elbows are out.
Now, how will that be viewed by race control? That's the question. So the number 50 is still there of Tony D'Alberto, but Nathan Morecambe ahead. Erin Cameron got through, I think, as well in the Golf GTI. Let's have a look at the front of the field here on the run down to turn 8. Keep an eye on this. Hyundai on Honda. Was he far enough up?
I don't reckon he was.
No.
I reckon judging off what driving standards advisor Alex Davison said yesterday with Nathan Morecambe making a move on Michael Armand yesterday, I wouldn't mind betting he will probably have the point of view that he wasn't quite fully in the gap for that one. We'll wait and see what race control has to say. Back at the front, Dylan O'Keefe leading the way. Will Brown's with him. Have a look at the slide from John Martin in the Honda. He had that dancing in turn 2. Armand and Morecambe chasing. Erin Cameron 6th now. D'Alberto has slipped to 7th. James Moffat quietly and calmly has brought that Renault up to position 8. Jason Bright 9th. Chris Pither in the back of the grid is in 10th. We're on lap 8 of 16. Half race distance in the final race of the weekend. And I just thought a little earlier on, we used up our action quota. Safety car, action quota, revitalised.
I'll tell you what, the work that's been done here by the Ash Seawood team, I spoke to Barry Hay in the break there very briefly, wasn't in a position to give me specifics about what they changed in the car, but they just wanted to give him something a little faster, a little racier underneath him. He looked disappointed about missing out on that win. These two will battle again like they did in race 2. Look at the fight on for third position. John Martin now with his hands full. Michael Armand's not ideally placed here going into the final few corners, but he gets ahead. Gets ahead. Nice.
Great job from a guy who we've been more used to seeing in Porsche Corona Cup. Martin off the road. The Honda was fighting for the podium. Now he's off the road up against the concrete at the penultimate corner. That's a shame. So that puts Armand now onto the podium. Leaders across the line this time. They've got away again, these two. So now it's Armand third. Morecambe fourth. Erin Cameron fifth. D'Alberto next. James Moffat in that black and white Renault. Then Jason Bright. A replay here. Armand down the inside. It was Morecambe who was just in behind John Martin, and it happens to the right of shot. And I wouldn't mind betting there's been some form of contact between those two for that car to end up off the road. The question is, who was in the right, who was in the wrong, 50-50, who knows? Chelsea Angelo off the road. That's where Heimgartner Subaru was parked. He wasn't able to get going again a couple of laps ago. That's at the final corner. Change for the lead. Will Brown down the inside at turn 5. He's got it done. And Dylan O'Keefe now slips back to position 2, lap 9 of 16. Question is, can the Hyundai drive away like we saw in the previous race?
Less than 8 to go. Will we see a safety car? We'll keep an eye on that. So Brown leads from O'Keefe. Michael Armand in third. Here's Cam.
So the update from the two Subarus, guys, Molly Taylor, was a puncture on the right rear, and it was actually from debris right in the centre of the slick tyre, I guess. Now, in terms of Andre Heimgartner, they don't know what the fault was. It was a mechanical, but because in TCR Australia there is no telemetry, the team are in the dark as to what's happened with that car.
That's a shame because he brought this race to life, Greg. He really did fire up through the order. John Martin's Honda is still parked off the side of the circuit. We jump on board with Nathan Morecambe. This will tell the story. Armand to the right, Martin to the left in the Honda Civic. Now that's an interesting one because he's just come across there. Morecambe makes contact with the rear. The Honda disappears off to the right. That's one for Cam's race control to deal with in the post-race aftermath.
Alex Davison, do you want to recheck your flight this evening? Maybe a little bit of work to do post this one. Hopefully, it's often said that if you can get it done in the race, if there are penalties to be issued, they'll do it during the race. Emma?
Just checking in with Barry Morecambe. Wow, Will Brown, what a fantastic young talent. He could go back-to-back.
I hope so. I mean, he's got the pace, so he's got to stay out the front. Clear air, he drove away from him in the last race, so let's hope he can stay there. The Hyundai i30N is just a great little car. Pocket rocket.
Pocket rocket, I like that. Nathan Morecambe, 8th in the last one, your son, of course. Has he been happy overall with the weekend so far?
Yeah, he struggled a little bit with the front tyres, but yeah, it seems like in the last race he's got a bit more pace, so maybe we've made a few changes, so he might be liking it too.
Thanks, Barry.
So.
And the fact that underlines that, Emma, is that Nathan Morecambe has set the fastest lap of this race, 136.13, back on lap 7. We're on lap 10 at the moment. There's James Moffat trying to work his way forward on Tony D'Alberto, but it's Will Brown who leads the way on board the HMO Customer Racing Hyundai. Dylan O'Keefe here, P2 in the Alfa Romeo. There's Michael Armand, third in another Hyundai. So the i30Ns, when we rolled out on Friday, were all up the top of the timesheets, and we all looked at one another and thought, that might be the car to have this weekend. But as Saturday unfolded and qualifying, some of the other teams got their act together and moved up the order. But come the end of the weekend, they've all worked their way back to the front because it's Brown P1 in an i30, Armand third's in one, and Morecambe in fourth is in one as well. Cam in the lane.
I'm just talking to David Wall. What do Hyundais have against Hondas? It seems like you've felt the wrath of Morecambe a little bit today.
Yeah, it looks like they've misunderstood the Honda logo there for the target. Yeah, not quite sure what's gone on there, but hey, look, anyway, we'll regroup, and he's got both our cars, but yeah, look, we'll try and salvage what we can and let the DSO sort that out. It's pretty obvious there what happened.
Now, I'm going to ask you exactly, do you think that John squeezed him, though? Was there anything in there?
Mate, he hit him in the back bumper bar. It's pretty obvious there, and he also got Tony prior to that, so yeah, not quite sure. He maybe needs to raise his seat up a little bit there to see what he can see the front of his car a bit more.
Thank you, David.
Thanks, mate.
Shots fired. Shots fired. So it's on in the pit lane as well. And that acronym he used, DSA, that stands for Driving Standards Advisor. That is Alex Davison for this series. A guy who's a very experienced endurance campaigner in this country, represented Australia racing Porsches for many years abroad, a very, very good racer. And he met with the drivers at the briefing on Friday, and he talked about things about making a clear wheel-to-wheel overlap when you execute a pass and things like that. So, bit of potential post-race work to do in that regard.
On board with Nathan Morecambe. So John Martin parked off to the right. Chelsea Angelo and Andre Heimgartner are both parked on the outside of the final corner. So it's a bit of a dead car park over there in that last sector of the lap. Great chance for us to have a listen to this I-30. Crank it up, have a listen. Back to our leader. There's Will Brown. Dylan O'Keefe second. Margin at the line last time around. 1.5 seconds. 5 laps left to go. Michael Armand's in the final podium position at the moment. I thought it might take a few rounds before we develop some rivalries, Rusty, but already it seems like we've got one between the Honda team and the Hyundai team. We heard from David Wall. Cam Vanderducken has the other side of the story.
So Barry Morgan, we've just heard from David Wall that he feels slightly aggrieved that Hyundai have targeted the Hondas today. How did you see the incident?
I doubt we targeted the Hondas, so they're all so evenly matched, these cars, you know, so you're going to bump and grind a bit, so.
Did you see that incident? Obviously, you have seen the incident. There have been a couple of replays up there. How did you see it from this team's perspective?
Don't know. Looked fine to me.
Thank you very much. You've heard it here, guys. That was very much a straight bat answer.
Straight bat answer, and I've got to say, I mean, if we've just come off a federal election, if you're in his shoes, would you say anything different? Probably not.
Remember for HMO, Barry Morgan. Tell you what, they've got a car out in front at the moment. That's the bit that matters. Will Brown leads the way. 2 seconds clear of Dylan O'Keefe. He's got a margin back to Michael Armand, then Nathan Morecambe, then Erin Cameron, Tony D'Alberto, James Moffat. So a really good mix of experienced names that our viewers will have seen in other categories and win titles and win races, and then some young guns emerging. I mean, Erin Cameron, 19 years of age from Victoria. He's done a bit of everything. Toyota 86s, some Super Utes last year. He's worked really hard to get this deal together with the Melbourne Performance team. This Volkswagen's a brand new car, the Golf GTI. She has a lot in common with the Audi RS3 in that garage because, of course, part of the Audi and Volkswagen organisation. And it is great to see such variety. 8 brands on the grid this weekend in TCR. Plenty of murmurs about some other teams and other people who are here this weekend to have a look at this series, have a wait and see on it, and see what it costs, see how it works, see how it runs. And now they're starting to see what's unfolding. Moffat down the inside. That's a move on Tony D'Alberto for position 6. So after a sluggish weekend for the Renaults, they're starting to come on. Moffat's worked his way up the order. Didn't get to start yesterday's race, finished 12th earlier today, and now runs position 7. Well, position 6, in fact.
3.5 to go, and that's worth just keeping an eye on D'Alberto there, because I think he's currently in position to finish 3rd for the weekend. So top of the points tally, Will Brown 122, Dylan O'Keefe 110. They're respectively 1 and 2 on the road. Tony D'Alberto on 99, but Jason Bright has amassed 95 for the weekend so far, and he's just behind D'Alberto. If those guys battle away, that could be for 3rd for the weekend.
Back on board with D'Alberto. This long run down to turn 1. You can see on the readout, 5th gear, paddle shift on the Honda Civic Type R. There's 6th. Just wanted to stop and listen and hear that turbo engine. Now down to turn 2, down the gears with a flick of the hand on the paddle, and that's Moffat in front working on Erin Cameron in the Volkswagen. This guy's working them and beating them. 2.7 seconds the margin from Will Brown. Back to Dylan O'Keefe. There is the Alfa Romeo who's been in the game this weekend. There's Michael Armand, the Garth Walden Racing Run Hyundai. I reckon Moffat's not done with yet. He's got a couple more spots to make, and he's got some pace. He's closed in on Erin Cameron. going to show the nose of the Renault down the inside. Can't quite get it in the gap. But he's got some time up his sleeve. 3 laps to go in this final race of the weekend for the car sales TCR Australia Series. So much was said, so much was written before this weekend. And now we've got this series up and running. It's a thing, it's on the track. There's a nice variety. In fact, we're being told because of the safety car period, we might end up with a checker flag this time around. So this will be a win for Will Brown and put together a 2 from 3 weekend in the Hyundai and what has been a great way to start the weekend. New category, new cars, great racing.
It's a new breed of competition in this country, and a youngster with a huge future in front of him wins the 3rd race of the weekend. Will Brown takes it out. Car Sales TCR Australia from Dylan O'Keefe, and Michael Armand gets home in 3rd position. Hyundai's 1 and 3. Nice job in the Alpha by O'Keefe. Splitting them.
D'Alberto makes it home. P7, it was a bit of a busy race if you're on board a Honda Civic Type R. D'Alberto's the only Honda to finish. John Martin does not finish. This guy, Will Brown, 2 wins today. He is the series leader with this weekend done. And Chelsea Angelo and Andre Heimgartner, the Kelly Racing teammates, have to negotiate their way over the tyre bundle to get back to pit lane. Unfortunately, DNF for both those cars in this 3rd race for the weekend with the Astra and the Subaru, with some parallel parking down at the final corner. That's a real shame. Heimgartner was up to position 2 in the 777 Subaru, but unfortunately a mechanical drama of some sort has left him out of this race. So that's a real shame as we finished 14 laps in the end with Will Brown getting home for the victory. And now everyone's learnt about their cars. They've got a lot of data, they've got a lot of information, a lot more understanding before they rolled out here at Sydney Motorsport Park this weekend. But what we do know is that Will Brown has taken another win. The Hyundai home by 2.6 seconds in the end from Dylan O'Keefe in the Alfa Romeo. The I-30Ns were 3rd and 4-2 with Michael Armand and Nathan Morecambe, who was in a bit of stuff in that race, that's for sure. Erin Cameron P5 in the Volkswagen, James Moffat 6th in the Renault, 7th for Tony D'Alberto on board the Honda, then Jason Bright in the Volkswagen, yesterday's race winner in 8th. Chris Pither back at the grid in the Renault to 9th, and Alex Rouleau in the Astra. The Castrol back to Kelly Racing Run Astra in position 10. Alexandra Whiteley finished position 11. Molly Taylor 12th, and they were the only finishers of the 17 starters. 5 non-finishers with John Martin, Chelsea Angelo, Andre Heimgartner all out during the race, and Jimmy Vernon and Rick Breukers out on the first lap in the Alfa Romeo and also in the Audi. But this guy, lights ablaze, into victory lane with a trophy and some champagne standing by. Toowoomba's own Will Brown. Something about race drivers called Will who come from Toowoomba. Will Brown is winning in lots of cars. Will Power, the reigning Indy 500 champ, is from the same part of Queensland, from the same place in Toowoomba, and it's celebrations all round. HMO Customer Racing have got the job done. Will Brown is a winner once more. He's down with Emma Francesco in Park Fermé.
Just going to let him take his helmet off quickly, Will Brown. I spoke to you on the grid before this race. You were absolutely exhausted. In fact, you told me you were going to pull in and have a rest in pit lane. Complete opposite. You just went back-to-back winning the 3rd race. Well done.
Yeah, it was pretty cool, actually. The car was feeling great. Didn't get the best start for some reason. I don't know what happened there, but awesome race. The real MVP is Andre Heimgartner. That was an awesome drive by him. Bad luck, but that was awesome. But great to get 2 wins, and can't thank the boys at HMO Customer Racing enough. We'll come back stronger at Phillip Island.
Are you going to go home tonight and pinch yourself because you got 3 podiums in the very first round of TCR?
Yeah, definitely. It's pretty cool getting 3 podiums and doing all the racing I'm doing this year. So just pumped to be able to do it all, and can't thank everyone that's got me here enough. So having a ball.
On you, well done. Rusty?
Well, Dylan O'Keefe's just been over here to the edge of Park Fermé to see Barry Hay, to see Ash Seawood and the boys. Great start to the year for you. 2 podiums, well done.
Yeah, that's fantastic. It's a credit to the team at Ashley Seawood Motorsport, to the guys at Gary Rogers Motorsport. They gave me the car to perform, and I think we maximised the opportunity we had this weekend. So it's a great start to our campaign.
You looked a little flat when I spoke to you at the end of race 2. I know you really would have loved to win. What happened in that 3rd one? Was the car better after the changes you made?
Yeah, I mean, in race 2 we were struggling a lot with understeer, and I told the guys they made the car a bit more lively, and it definitely showed. I was able to hang with Will for a little bit, but he was too quick for us today, so we consolidated and got as many points as we could.
You're happy? You're in career best form at the moment. You're driving a variety of cars, and I think it clearly showed when you stepped into something new in the Alpha.
Yeah, I mean, I'm feeling good, but it's the guys around me too. They're really making me get the most out of me, so it's a credit to them.
We know that car's fast in a straight line. We hope it's great at Phillip Island. Go get them.
Cheers, thanks.
Magic Michael Arman, after some mishaps yesterday, a much better day for you today. A podium, well done.
Not going to complain about that one for sure. The boys put the car together beautifully. It's been strong all weekend. It's probably took me a little bit to get my head around it in quali, and I went back to how I drove it in practice, and the pace was there. So can't thank the GWR and Platinum Motorsport guys enough.
You do have fantastic team and support around you, that's for sure.
No, absolutely. Gus, a great bloke, and Rob and Astrid, and Astron Tech, Commercial Interior Projects, and PSA have been great helping this weekend. So very exciting for everyone.
Thanks, Michael. Well done. Noons.
It's always great, Emma, when you can get on the podium in a car that you hadn't driven until Friday. Great job from Michael Arman. Let's look at the highlights of race 3. Boy, oh boy, there was plenty of them to look at. Tony D'Alberto made a great jump in the Honda. Jason Bright, a touch with Nathan Morecambe at turn 1, went on a wild ride in that Volkswagen. He managed to pick it up and brought it home 8th. Andre Heimgartner, this was devastating. He fought his way through to 2nd, and then the Subaru let him down. Some form of a mechanical drama took WRX out. Contact here, Nathan Morecambe trying to put a move on Tony D'Alberto. The Honda ran wide and lost a couple of spots, and then back on board with Morecambe. The other Honda, John Martin, just up in front, car 24. A little bit of contact off the road, and the former Australian Formula 4 champ was off and out of the race. The man who was in the race, up the front and winning, Will Brown. 2 from 3, 2 today in the Hyundai. Dylan O'Keefe home in 2nd spot, Michael Arman in 3rd, 4th place to Nathan Morecambe, and Erin Cameron rounding out the top 5. Let's go to our podium with the Car Sales TCR Australia Series. Here's Cameron Vandendonger.
Welcome to the Round 1 Race 3 podium presentation for the Car Sales TCR Australia Series. Thanks to the series sponsors, Car Sales, Astron Tech, Actron Air, Michelin and Panther Fuel. Today the presentations will be made by Rob Mundy from Actron Air. In 3rd place from Garth Walden Racing in the Hyundai i30N, Michael Arman. In 2nd place for Ashley Seawood Motorsport in the Alfa Romeo Giulietta Veloce, Dylan O'Keefe. And your winner from HMO Customer Racing in the Hyundai i30N, Will the Swill Brown. All right, before we get the champagne, because I'm going to get destroyed with champagne very shortly, we're going to grab Will Brown now. Will Brown live around Australia on SBS free-to-wear. We've also been all around the world on a live stream. This is the dawn of a new era. Car Sales TCR Australia, and you are the winner.
Yeah, I loved every second of it. I can't believe how close the racing was coming into it. Like, we had a ball, me and Dylan, everyone, Tony racing this weekend, and Andre did some cool moves then. So just had a ball. The category was awesome, and looking forward to getting on to the next one.
I'm going to jump in quickly with 2nd and 3rd as well. Here he is, Dylan O'Keefe. Now, you looked a bit dejected after race 2, but, mate, what a battle you had.
Yeah, race 2 was tough for us. I mean, struggling with understeer, and it's credit to the guys, they fixed that, and I was able to take it to Will for a little bit. But, yeah, he was too quick for us this weekend, so it's a credit to the guys.
Well done. The boys are getting... Whoa, look out. I feel like I'm getting attacked up here. Now, Magic Mike, you were the quick man in practice, mate. Congratulations with the podium.
Thank you, mate. Had a great time. The car.
All right, I'm going to get out of the way at the moment. We're going to get the trophies up here. Hold on, hold on. All right, look out for the camera. Gentlemen, the podium is yours.
Trophy presentation about to take place as well. What a weekend we've had here at Sydney Motorsport Park. A pole position for Honda, wins for Hyundai and VW. The very experienced Jason Bright taking the first ever win in Car Sales TCR. And a bright youngster in Will Brown cleaning up the rest of the weekend. So many great stories to follow. And of course, we will reconvene in a couple of weeks' time at Phillip Island in early June for round 2 of this fantastic series. We hope you've enjoyed all of the action here at Sydney Motorsport Park. On behalf of Aaron Noonan and all of our team, we'll catch you next time. Bye for now.